Hello and welcome to all. Thanks for joining us in our High Performance Centre today. I'm delighted to welcome along Sara and Teah here with us today. Sara Buratovic is joining us from the Leinster Referees Department and Teah Maguire has made the journey from the Ulster Referees Department. Sara and Teah, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Brilliant. So we'll crack on, we'll get right into it. I suppose I'd like to figure out with you guys and hear from you guys as to what made you decide to become a referee. So Sara, I might start with you.
Well, I started as a player, so I started playing like 11 years ago. Yeah. And as I come from outside of Ireland, so my rugby is not like popular sport in my country. So I started playing sevens, and I was playing mostly in international levels because we didn't have so many clubs in between in the country. And I was watching the games also aside from my games. And I was always kind of a little bit admiring the referees, how they actually control the game. Like there's 30 people or 14 people, doesn't matter on the pitch. And that's kind of a thing that I wanted. It's like, I want to be there in the middle. Then I moved to Ireland, and when I moved to Ireland, I decided to start refereeing.
Brilliant, that's excellent. And how did you find out about refereeing? Like when you came to Ireland, did you join a club here, and was it through the club or?
Yeah, I started playing 15s for Clontarf for a little bit while, and then I finished affiliated a course for affiliate referees. And after a while, to get some experience, then I decided to call Leinster branch and go for a course last September.
Excellent, brilliant. And Teah, same question to you. What drew you into refereeing?
Yeah, I suppose started as a player, or still am a player when you're not injured, but and then from playing I got into volunteering in terms of coaching, and then that's where my job is now involved in that too. And whenever you're volunteering or coaching the kids and at that level, you know that there's a shortage of referees, and you always end up jumping in the middle. I'll do it, there's no ref this week or whatever it is. And then you know there's just you can see there's a shortage of referees, especially female referees. You're playing within the AIL, there's only now maybe one or two that you maybe get once a season, because there's just that shortage. And I suppose whenever you're looking up to them going, you know, I could give back to the game in that way, I could be the next female within that role. And whenever I've picked up the whistle, I've enjoyed it, probably more so than what I ever thought. And again, did the affiliate course and just took it on from there. And then in September did the referee course with the Ulster branch, and yeah.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Can I just ask you, and I'm not trying to put you into retirement if you haven't already retired, but you touched on just, you know, kind of something to do as well, maybe when you're injured a little bit. Are you currently still playing? Or?
So I'm pregnant, so can't play this season.
Congratulations.
So that sort of, I wasn't at the time of when I went through it all.
Yeah.
But it's certainly another way to stay involved within the game, and whether it was an injury or whatever it might be, or even if you're not injured, it's just another avenue to stay involved after you stop playing. Or you know, we all get older and our 100%. Bodies don't recover just as well, and it's definitely something that's kept me involved while not being able to play.
Yeah.
In that sense, but yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Excellent, brilliant. I suppose both of you are very, new into the refereeing game and having just finished the courses. So I suppose, how have you found that process since, we'll say, moving from the affiliate into the full referees course, and I suppose to that first time maybe taking up the centre stage in a game? I suppose, how have you found the process and kind of the supports that maybe have been there along the way? I'll start with you in that one, Teah.
It's been really good. So whenever you go into the course, you're there with everybody that's signed up, and you get introduced to a lot of mentors and coaches that the branch have. I don't know how other branches do it, but with us up in Ulster, you do your course, and then the next week you're out and you do something, maybe an under 14s game or an under 16s game. You do that for 2 or 3 weeks, then you'll go and do linesman or lineswoman, for for another referee in the middle. So you're on the sideline just watching the referee and being involved in the game. The week after that, if you're comfortable, you do a shared game. So you'll do the referee, the experienced referee, will do a half or 20 minutes, whatever they deem fit for you, and then then you jump on, or I jumped on, and that was my first senior game, senior men's game, and then you get assessed or scored, I suppose, to see, are you confident and competent enough to go ahead and do this? And luckily enough, I was, and I've just kept moving on through the ranks in that stage. But the support has been unbelievable from just your fellow referees, as well as the branch, as well as the volunteers, and as well as other referees and the coaches and the assessors have just been, they're there to, it seems like they're there to give you a hard time sometimes, but they're there to really help you, and you pick up little bits and pieces from different mentors and coaches that you need to work on, or something that you did really well and you've worked on it and you've got better at it. So it's been really, I found it really supportive in my journey so far.
Excellent. And Sara, the same question to you. Have you found it since completing the course and going out there?
Yeah, it's not so much different from Teah, to be honest. So comparing affiliate and full membership, like just the course of Leinster branch, it's way too different. So as affiliate, you're just jumping in for your club if they really don't have anyone allocated that day, and you're just being there. You don't even know, like, you're just starting, you don't even know what you're doing, to be honest.
Well, you're learning.
You know the laws, but the signals and everything is like, then when we came to the course and everything, we were shown everything with what we have to do. Afterwards, we had a lot of workshops about every segment of the game, what we have to improve, how to recognize it, how to positioning. Also, I started with the games like 16s, 18s, and I had those for a few weeks, and I had few mentors. They were great. Their tips were fabulous. Like, coaches also were giving like good comments about it, and just also my area rep is also like was full supportive about it. So I don't know. There is a lot of support, like
you found
from
a
behind
good process
of the entire Leinster branch. So I'm happy.
Excellent. And I suppose when you do arrive at the club, I suppose what's been the reaction like? Because I suppose sometimes they're perhaps expecting a male referee to show up, and I know like previously Joy Neville has often spoken about in her journey times where she'd show up and somebody would be like, oh, are you the physio, or are you this, or are you that, and there's kind of sometimes be the automatic assumption made. But I suppose, have you found any interesting reactions or kind of situations when you've arrived at the club, or maybe a little bit kind of, oh great, you're the referee, and maybe they just weren't expecting a female?
I had so we have what we call RLOs, so referee liaison officers, and I had one that rang me the Wednesday before the game, and it's like, I'm just not sure on your gender because of your name. So what do we need? I was like, right, okay, I've never had that one before. Most of, or I suppose all of the clubs have been very accommodating, reaching out beforehand and making sure there's changing room separate if needed, or there's the timings work well. There's been no issues as such, which is a bonus. But it is a shock, I suppose, whenever you're going into to referee male games or men's games, and they're sort of going, oh, right, okay, and then it's just that you can sort of see it in their face going, and then they just change and just get on with it like normal.
It's just like, okay, referee's here, let's go. It's great to hear that, like, you've clubs reaching out though to ensure that your experience when you arrive there is a positive one, and ensure that they can cater to your needs though as a referee. I think that's really a positive thing to hear.
The funny ones for me, I suppose everybody would be the same, is, what do we call you? They're so used to sir, but listen, it is what it is, as long as they're not disrespecting you, it's a goer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sara, for you?
So, but the clubs, so it's probably like on our page, they already show the name of the official. So I don't think they're so surprised about it. But I've never felt like like they're kind of surprised because I'm coming there.
Yep.
Like they welcome me,
Brilliant.
show me where the changing room is, gave me the coffee if I was too early.
It's always good to be on time for the coffee.
Yeah. The spectators also were like quite respectful.
Brilliant.
And it depends on game.
Yeah.
So it depends on what kind of day. Is it raining? Is it? If I'm having a bad day, if they're having a bad day. But I really never was like
Brilliant.
disrespected in a way. There is also, like Teah said, like, how do you want me to call you?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like you can call me sir, ma'am, miss.
Yeah.
I really don't care. But it has to be in a right tone and respectful.
Yeah.
So that's the only way.
And I'm sure sometimes in the middle of the game, you know, they're so engrossed in what they're trying to do on the pitch. Sometimes it might come out as sir or ref or something different. But as you said, as long as it's respectful, you really don't mind.
Yeah,
you know?
they can call me ref. I don't mind.
Yeah, brilliant. No, it's good. It's good to hear that that's the environment you guys are going into, like, and that, you know, the clubs are, you know, making that effort and that they are aware. And it's great to hear that there's liaison officers helping with that when you arrive at the clubs, because I think that's really important as well for, you know, for referees arriving. I suppose you've touched on it a little bit, but what are the type of opportunities that you've had as a match official since starting? And I suppose, if it's not too much of a question, is where would you like to go as a referee, you know, on your journey? I know you're very early in it, but I suppose what would your personal aspirations be, maybe long term?
I would love to go as high as I can. Like, at least national panel or up, if depends on my performance and how it goes.
Yeah.
So it's not me.
Yeah.
It is, but it's not so.
Yeah.
Depends on my assessments, coaches, mentors, and all that back support. Is also my performance what's going to be.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my plan.
Excellent.
So we'll see what's going on.
Super. And Teah? No, you're fine.
Yeah, the matches so far have been varied, from under 14 boys, under 16 girls, women's matches, men's matches, and you have your favourites and you have the better days and your not so good days.
Yeah.
But again, very very similar to Sara. I want to go as far as I can go. I guess it's the same as when you're playing, or certainly from my perspective, you always want to push that little bit extra. I'm a competitive player. I think that's just rugby in general.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like I've succeeded within my playing career. So where can I now go with the refereeing? And where's that going to take me? Again, national panel, beyond. Yeah. But if that's not my level, I'm more than happy to be a really good club referee at whatever that might look like.
Yeah, excellent. No, that's super. I suppose, again, I'm aware you're kind of both very early in your careers in terms of refereeing, but even in the short period of time, has there been any kind of standout moments for you where I suppose you felt, you know, I'm here, I've arrived, and, you know, I'm kind of really enjoying this? Is there anything that I suppose has really stuck with you even at this early stage?
For me, it's just been every match I've come off. Most of the matches I've done has been men's senior matches. They've said, you know, good game, ref, that was really really good, or, you know, we didn't expect that to be as good, or we weren't sure where that was going to go, or, you know, the positive comments from the players and the coaches and the spectators at the side. The standout moment, or funny moment, I suppose, was I refereed a female game, and the game blew the final whistle and the game was over, and the spectators just started clapping. I was walking off. I was like, oh, right, okay, well done, guys. Yeah. And they went, no, ref, that's for you. You had a really good game. And I didn't know whether to be embarrassed or to be shy or to what. It was a very surreal. Right, okay, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
But they said, you know, really good game, and, you know, it's probably the best reffing we've had. It was just, for me, it was really nice so early on in the reffing. So yeah.
Brilliant. And can I just ask you, just again, and I'll ask Sara the same question. I suppose as a player then transitioning into a little bit of refereeing, like have you found, you know, and it might seem obvious or it might not, but have you found having that playing experience and been an asset to you? Not saying that, you know, somebody who's never played the game of rugby can't referee or shouldn't referee, but have you found that beneficial to you in that sense of team and maybe how you I suppose speak or deal with the players on the pitch with you?
I suppose you can relate more, I suppose, to the players. You've been there, you've done that, but also on the downside for the players, you know the little things that you used to do, the little niggles, and you know you're maybe looking for different things, or you're looking for that. Oh, I know what you're doing at the bottom of that rock. I know what that foot's doing, or. But yeah, I suppose it's definitely helped them from a knowledge point of view, but also going back to the playing side, you sort of go, oh, have a little bit more respect for a referee. You don't see everything, you can't see everything, and especially at the level that I'm certainly at the minute, your lines people are club volunteers. They're not officials. They're not ARs.
Yeah.
So you will miss the odd thing, and it's just about trying to be as aware as possible. So it is that little bit. Go back to that. Respect the referees because they're there for a reason, and they're there to facilitate a game.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's maybe changed my playing perspective more than the referee's perspective.
Interesting. I like that. That's excellent. My final one for both of you is if there was somebody out there thinking about getting involved in referee and becoming a referee, what would you say to them? What would your advice to them be?
I think I mentioned it before in one of the other questions. There's, whatever you think of rugby, refereeing is probably not your first protocol that you go to. You think, oh, I want to play for Ireland, or I want to play for my country, I want to represent my, your country. But there is other ways to do that. And you mentioned Joy Neville before. She's represented a very different case. She's represented at both playing and at refereeing.
Yeah.
She's probably your prime example. That's your role model that you aspire to be. But playing rugby at a high level isn't for everybody. But that's not to say you couldn't referee at a high level. And or maybe you pick up an injury or whatever it is, stay involved in the game, and it's a really good way of, especially from my perspective, it's been a really good way of staying involved in the game. And it might feel like you're there by yourself in the middle of the pitch, but there is such a team around you, whether it's within your own province, whether it's within Leinster, Munster, Connacht. It's definitely, you're a team of referees, and once you get, you go up the games, you are there as a team with your other officials. So there is still a team element, and yeah, it's an enjoyable. It's been enjoyable. It is enjoyable, and I suppose the cliche thing, just go and do it, give it a go, and you never know what might happen.
Guys, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us today, and for sharing those insights. I know there's a huge amount of stuff there that people can take from it, and I've no doubt that it will encourage people who are thinking, particularly females who are thinking, to maybe pick up the whistle, that they'll definitely come on board. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
A big thank you to Teah and Sara for joining us here today and chatting through the referee pathways. And if you'd like to get involved or give refereeing a go, please contact the Referee Development Manager in your province, who will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. All information can be found on irishrugby.ie.